Good afternoon and welcome to the Mariner Football Network. I'm Craig Zimmerman. He's Jessie LaBuhn. And then we got Carter Barney behind the camera there. This is take 2.5. We had a little camera problem on 1.0. Then we set everything up down by the water on 2.0.
Yep.
And it was sunny. And the weather came in and it's raining again. So we're going to go 2.5 here and talk about the upcoming Mariner season, which is starting this Friday. And Jesse, we're on the road again against Armada.
Yep, as we talked previously, last 3 years, unfortunately we're 0-3 with a total loss by how many points?
Three.
So all
One
last
point
3
each.
years, 1 point each year. So we're really looking forward to reversing that scenario this year.
Yep. So we'll be in Armada Friday night, 7 p.m. You'll be watching this on probably Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And obviously, if you want to watch it, you can watch it on our YouTube channel as well. We come into the season, like always, optimistic about the Mariners. It seems to be the commonplace theme. Every year you think, oh my gosh, we've graduated these seniors, and then you look at, and then we talk about it. We put together sort of what we call a quasi starting lineup. And you go, they got some experience. They should be okay.
Yep.
We'll talk about the positions, the players. We'll talk a little bit about last year's team, where we were, where we went. And the schedule for this year. Talking about last year, banner year, couldn't have asked for much more.
No, you couldn't. I mean, and most people would say that's a really successful year, I think, and you've said in the past, that was it was a successful year for us, make a deep run to playoffs, and it's just something that, Mariner country is
commonplace
used to.
It seems as though we get into late July, early August, and you'll run into people at downtown doing something. How's the Mariner team look?
Yeah.
And I think this is much like any year we've had.
Yes, for sure.
We've got some really good returning underclassmen, some leaders from last year, some solid positions, and a lot of optimism, if you will. Hopefully you're not hearing the rain too much on the awning here, but we'll deal with it. So we come into the season last year going to the semifinals and losing in the semifinals to the eventual state champion Jackson Lumen Christi. But we'll back up and start at the beginning. Last year's game at East China Stadium against Armada was a Donnybrook. I mean, back forth.
Yeah, all three years were.
Yeah. Lost by a single point, as Jessie mentioned earlier. That's turned out to be almost like you'd call it a rivalry now, right?
Yeah.
And then you get into the meat of the season. You get, we'll talk about week 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, Madison, St. Clair, center line, all 3 wins. Then the South Lakes, they had 4 wins in a row.
Yep.
Then we unfortunately suffered a loss in Marysville in week 5 or 6 there.
They'll beat us every 8-10 years maybe.
Yeah. Which I just looked at the schedule. So we're home again this year against Marysville. I don't know why. Usually you flip flop, but must have just been a scheduling issue.
A renewal of the, it's happened a couple times in the past. So I certainly am glad we moved it up here under the awning because it's raining pretty hard. So then we go on to East Point, win big, 63-0. Jackson shows up at East China Stadium driving in from Jackson, which we know from the year before. We got beat by them the year before, right?
Yes.
In Jackson.
Yep.
But we handled them pretty handily, 50-26. Then we go down for a interesting Friday night in Detroit.
Detroit Central.
Yep. Little different atmosphere from the standpoint of fans and everything else. Parking, interesting, and went on handily there, 37-15. That's week 9. Then we go on to the playoffs, and that's sort of, we've gotten used to, Mariner football of just get to the end of the season, and then you've got to get better every week.
Yep, see
how the draw is. We go on to play Clintondale in the first round, pretty handily, 50-30. Then, which I would call probably the best and most impressive game of the year, the Mariners face Michigan Warren Collegiate.
Saturday afternoon
down there in Warren. We knew that we had our, hands full.
Yeah, we had a work cut out for us for sure.
And I think the first kickoff was sort of it didn't mean that you knew the game was going to go that way, but
Gave you a good outlook.
Oh yeah, kickoff was the kicker was instructed to kick it hard, kick
Line
it low,
drive.
line drive, and what's it do? It hits a guy in the chest, bounces off. Mariners get it, they get an extra possession. So that was a good start. Offense did well, moved the ball.
5-6 minute drives
Yep.
down. We'd score. We'd give it back to them. What happened?
48 seconds
48
later.
seconds later, they'd score.
So I mean that was interesting because that game, as good as it was, you knew that a score meant nothing because you knew that they had the athletes to score at any given time, whether it be a kickoff return, whether it be a wide outrunning our defenders.
Yeah, you couldn't take a breath.
Yeah.
Even if you had them on 4th and 4, they decided not to punt. It's like you need to execute every down.
Yeah, so it was big. I think the game plan that Coach Letson put together as far as trying to sustain drives and eat clock meant that the more time we get it, the less time they're getting it.
Yeah. Yeah,
and it
for a while
worked.
there. It's like who's going to end up with the ball last
Yep.
is going to be the winner.
So late in the game, we got up by 2 scores, and that seemed to be the difference near the end, and we ended up winning 38-28, so 10 points.
Yeah.
The funny thing was being up 7, you couldn't really breathe too much, but being up 10, at least you felt like, well, they got to score twice to beat us.
Right.
So then we go into the semifinals, which has gotten to be somewhat of a familiar place for the Mariners over the years. I've been there umpteen times, and faced a very, very regimented team of Jackson Luma Christie.
Yep.
I think they had 2 things. They didn't beat us too bad in the air. The running back going to a Big Ten school type of Division I type thing.
Yes. Yep.
And then
slippery, speed.
Their offensive
powerful.
line, overpowered us. So I would say Mariners finished strong. The best public school in Division VI last year. And then this year, we'll go into our schedule and talk about that a little bit. This year we start off the same, going to Armada.
Yep.
Then we've got
Madison Heights at home. That'll be the home opener, week 2.
Yep. Then after that we got
St. Clair at home.
So we're home, but
I
we're
say
away.
home. Yeah, we're away. So we'll be on the east side.
Yep, we'll be on the east side there. Then we'll go at Centerline the 19th of September. Home against South Lake 26th. Then we go on the road to Sterling Heights, who we haven't played in a number of years.
Correct.
Sterling Heights was in the upper division and came down. Marysville went up to the gold. And that had something to do with records and school population.
Yeah.
So even though the Marysville Vikings are in the gold and we're in the silver, we will play them.
Week 9.
Yep. We'll go home against East Point.
Week 8, rather.
Week 8, and then, you're right.
Yep.
Week 7. Week 8, we go on the road to Notre Dame Prep to face a tough division. I think they're 4, aren't they?
Yeah, I think so.
And they won state championship last year, so we'll see how that fares. But that's, that time of year, you want to play good competition to know sort of where you're at.
Yeah, get your things dialed in and, head into the last game of the season against, arch rival Marysville.
Yep.
And then the playoffs from there.
Yep. Notre Dame Prep probably will play a more spread type offense, which is something you want to face later in the year when you're getting into the playoff time. And then the Mariners, like Jessie said, will finish off the season at home against Marysville and trying to turn the tables, get back to normal. In case anybody wondered, with our arch rivals being St. Clair and Marysville, quite honestly, with St. Clair we're 29-4 over the last 33 games.
33, yep.
And against Marysville, we're 27-5. So, we've done well, lost a couple here, there. We'll talk about what we consider to be the returning, journeyman, we'll say.
Sure.
Offense and defensively. I'll start with the offensive line and talk about, these are not necessarily your starting 11. These are sort of what we put together as, we know that they played a lot of downs last year.
Right.
At tight end, you've probably got Nathan Beaker, a 7, a senior. You got Peter Golitz, a sophomore. So probably switch off a little bit because some of these players are going to play both sides of the ball.
Yes.
So you're going to want to have platooning a little bit.
With 35 kids on the team, you're going to want to try to keep your
Yeah. Wide receiver, we've got a couple underclassmen. We got sophomores, probably, Luke Muscat and Eli Volkman.
Yep.
Both played a lot on JV, played up on varsity in the playoffs a little bit.
So it takes to see the pace of the game and the pace of practices. And
Yep. Tackle positions, we've got some returners. We got Jacob Armstead, Wesley Pretzer, guards Chase Ramsey, Jacob Loper, returning guys. Center Steinmetz, I'm hearing. Backfield, we'll go over the things we sort of have an idea. Wingback, probably Dakota Droptony, who played a lot last year. Aiden Pierrick as well, both seniors. Zach Andrews, Jabin Holden, probably at a fullback, senior and junior there. And where the switch is, I mean, it's sort of been known a little bit, but the switch was Tucker Volkman's going to be the quarterback, number 3. He's a sophomore, played a lot at backup at quarterback and played defense last year. And Lincoln Osterland's going to go to a halfback position.
Yeah. And that's just standard, I think that's just standard protocol with the amount of coaching experience there with, Letson, Griffin, Scarcelli, and Forgetto. Like, they've always tailored their style to the athletes that they have.
Right.
Instead of the other way around, trying to force a kid into a system that doesn't work. They've always played, the strength of the hand they have.
And according to coaches, they said, Lincoln feels very comfortable playing running back. And he's gotten stronger, he's gotten bigger, so that's a plus. And Tucker, not only did he play a fair amount at quarterback last year, but he played on varsity baseball, so he's a, true athlete. So that's the offense. I'll let you go over the defense a little bit.
On the defense side of the ball, senior Chase Ramsey and senior Aiden Pierrick. Like you said, they saw a lot of snaps last year. Tackle Alex Teed or Wally Azar, both seniors. The other side of the tackle, Mike Myron, senior, and then Zach Andrews, nose guard. The linebackers this year we have Nick Ruffino, who back, from a injury from last year. It'd be nice to have Nick back there. He's a senior. On the other side, Jacob Loper, a junior. And then at the corner positions, Eli Volkman, sophomore again, and Jabin Holden. A couple names there that you heard on both sides of the ball. And then Dakota Droptony as a safety, and Tucker Volkman and Nate Beaker also on the safety.
The thing that I notice in these types of lineups, and it tends to be this way year after year after year, is that we don't tend to be so heavily laden towards all seniors. So like if you look at this for 2025, you're going to go, okay, for 2026, look, for example, at your defense. You got Holden, you got Volkman, you got another Volkman, you got Loper, you got those guys there as a nucleus coming back next year. The same thing on offense. You got Golich, you got Pretzer, you got Steinmetz, Loper, Armstead, Eli Volkman, Luke Muscat,
Holden again.
Yeah. Holden, you said, and Tucker Volkman. So, you're not just a one-and-done type of team. You're building and continue to go forward.
Yes, and you've said it multiple times on the podcast, Craig. You usually bring it up at the beginning of the year, but the amount of extra games that these kids see, a normal season's what, 8 weeks, right?
Yep.
Well, we played
9 weeks.
9 weeks. We played 13 last year.
Yep.
So, I mean, you do that year after year after year, and just the amount of snaps that these kids get and the experience in those extra games is huge.
Yeah, I mean, if you take, for example, like maybe a sophomore, then a junior, and a senior, if you played 4 extra games, that's an extra season, really, or more.
Right.
So, yeah. We'll talk here about the rest of the team as far as giving everybody their due as far as their numbers. And starting off, number 1, Eli Volkman, 2, Luke Muscat, 3, Tucker Volkman. Start with 4. Go ahead.
Jomer Schweigel, number 6, Finn Wolf. Another number 6, Marshall Miller. Again, these probably haven't been designated numbers yet, but at any rate. Yeah. Number 7, Nathan Beaker. Number 8, Landon Miller. Number 9, Nick Ruffino. Number 10, Brent Volkman. 13, Owen Reinhart. I'll let you go next.
Aiden Pierrick, number 15. 17, Lincoln Osterland. 18, Eli Ringeisen. 20, Jabin Holden. 21, Brandon Hutton. 23, Austin Brown. Austin's coming off an injury during track season. I haven't heard specifically when
not heard
he'll be
either.
back, but I assume that he'll be back maybe late in the season.
Yeah.
24 Dakota Drop Tinney, 25 William Higbee, 27 Zach Andrews. Go ahead.
And the 50, Jacob Loper. Number 53, Chase Ramsey. Number 54, John Bulko. Number 55, Cameron Matthews. 56, Wesley Pretzer. 56 also, Austin Voigt. 58, Alex Teed. Number 62, Lucas DeSmither.
64 Gaetan Urbani, 70 Trevor Couch, 74 Michael Murron, 75 Trace Diamonds, 77 Jacob Armstead, 78 Wally Azar, 88 Peter Golitz. I think that covers it all.
That's it.
You know, you mentioned earlier coaches Darren Letson, Gary Griffin, John Loper's on defense as well. Coach Loper's been with us. I don't have the official, but I think this is 4 or 5 years, and a good addition to the team. Consistency. Coach Garcelli will be back for a lot of it. Coach Forgetto, you know, we talked about it in 1.0. He's been around, gosh, I got to ask Joe, but I think it's like about 25 years.
That's what you're saying, yeah.
It's over 20, I know that.
Are we going to see Coach Shield back this year?
Coach Shield retired, so I'm guessing no.
No, okay.
But who knows? You want to mention any of that information?
Sure. As always, you know, we get sponsors from around the area. Big thank you to them. We haven't compiled the official list yet, but I do know a couple names that have signed up for sure. Make a significant donation to the program, which helps with everything from helmets to jerseys to all the special effects and all the cool stuff we get to do on Friday night over at the stadium. So Mark Morris, Preferred Building Company. Got Aaron Forrest, Riverside Spline and Gear. LaFontaine Chevy up in St. Clair. Got Larry Beaker, St. Clair Aggregates, and Brent Erickson at Erickson Manufacturing. You know, a couple that we had last year too that I'm sure are going to be back on a donation. ML Chartier was another one. So a big thank you to those sponsors. It allows us to do some pretty neat stuff there.
Yeah.
So make a nice atmosphere on a Friday night.
Yep. Thank you to the guy behind the camera, Carter Barney, Paul Dingaman and Bruce Holliday. They're the guys back at CTV Central, pushing the buttons, making sure if we do have a problem, getting to the bottom of it quickly. We first did this on Saturday night. Didn't work out because of the camera issue, and that's okay.
We got one ad lib though.
Yeah,
it's not Preferred Building. It's Blue Water Building.
Oh,
Sorry, Mark. Old habits die hard, but I want to make sure I got that correction.
that guy from Preferred Building is getting a free plug.
Well, he should. I'll stop by and pick the check up if you're watching this.
So yeah, we always appreciate the guys in the booth doing everything, pushing the buttons, Bruce Holliday and his crew, Carter and everybody else that shows up on Friday night, because it really does take about 8 or 10 people to do it all. And it's fun to do. I think this is my, 26th year, something like that.
My 7th.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Jerry retired in 2017 because I went back and looked at that. So 2018 was my first.
Yeah. Time flies.
Yeah.
I had
And not just that stuff, but I mean all the time that the parents take to put the flags up, to put the posters up, to run the concessions. Like there is a whole army of people that make this atmosphere what it is on Friday night.
And then you got cheerleaders. You got the
band.
the Mariner Man or running the flags.
Yep.
You got guys taking care of the cannon down in the boat.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a community of, and it's a special thing in a small town atmosphere. I tell people that have never been to one, that maybe aren't from the area, that it's almost like East China Stadium, or as I call it, Mariner Field, has assigned seating,
Yeah.
right?
You see a lot of regulars there.
And when we come up from downstairs doing something, you almost know who's going to high five you or give you a fist bump.
Yeah,
or
who's sitting on the edge of the aisle. Yeah, because everybody goes in there and sets up camp right where they always do.
And in many, many cases, not only are there people from our generation, but there's grandmas and grandpas and great grandmas, and also some ladies, some gentlemen that have been doing it for generations, and they don't have kids, but they're there on every Friday night.
That's right.
And that's a cool thing. So we'll look forward to seeing you on Friday night, the second week of the season, which will be September 5th against Madison Heights. You already know the time, 7 o'clock East China Stadium. And we'll see you next time. Thanks to Jessie, me, Carter Barney. We're out of here with 2.0 2.5, and it worked out pretty good. And we've got a rainbow over the side. Can you get the rainbow? I don't know. Look forward to a positive Mariner season.